Hi guys, welcome back to my channel Chaos Before Cosmos. If you guys are new joining the channel, welcome. My name is Kerry. For those of you that have been here a million times before, look, I managed to tweak the intro just slightly there if you guys noticed, right? Oh my God, that was harder than I thought, right? Like when you get so used to saying something like every time, it becomes freaking second nature. How are you, beautiful? What time is it there? And have you had a good sleep? Are you just finishing? Are you crashing out? What's going on here? Oh, hold on 2 seconds. Just give me a sec. Hold up. Hold up. I just gotta that. Sorry about that. Just had a oh shit alive. Yeah, Julie. We're back. Right, mid Julie. How are you, beautiful? Just giving the area a good little cleanse. Spirit have guided me to do a oracle reading for you guys. Give me 1 sec. Sorry, I know shit's bouncing around. Okay, perfect. Perfect. All right, good timing. Love it. All right, so we're going to be doing a oracle message for you guys, your 1010 message. Obviously, those of you that are my side of the world, right, we're at the end of 1010. It's currently 17 minutes past 11 I'm like, what day is it? Friday? We're Friday? Is it Friday? It's Friday the 10th of the 10th, 2025. So I thought, though, for you guys over other parts of the world, we do a little 1010 message here. We're going to be breaking it down for the masculine and the feminine, so doing them in separate, two separate lots. I'll go back and obviously timestamp that after. We won't be using tarot for this, right? We're not trying to open up 12 portals out here. We're just trying to give a clear message for divine feminine, divine masculine about what cycles here are needing to be completed, what new beginnings are possibly coming up for you guys. It is, we'll just give the overall general message here before we get into divine feminine first. Thought I'd do the ladies first, right? We didn't play tonight, Amber. We didn't play tonight. It's tomorrow night. It's still Friday night for us. So yeah, it's Saturday night vibes. And Rach, I might actually have to can that for Sunday because I could potentially have something that comes up tomorrow night. But anyway, we'll get to that when we get to that. All right, collective. Again, this message is about 1010, what the meaning of 1010 is. Also being that we are in a year number 9, right? This is the end of a phase, right, with new things beginning. So 1010 portal is quite a powerful time of completing out cycles. And can you say no, I can't. I'm good, thank you. See, whoever you are. Anyway, and by the way, like is that a Star Trek reference there? Are we talking about some Trek there? Look, I mean, I don't watch original Star Trek. I'm all about next gen and, above and beyond. So if you could kindly beam me the fuck up off this planet, Scotty, I'd be happy. But anyway, no, I'm not doing it, Rach. Stop it. Stop it. All right. You'll see. Well, good to meet you, C. You new around here? Anyway, guys, 1010 portal is all about completion of major cycles. It's also about new beginnings, right? Opportunities, new beginnings. So, the whole energy at the moment is all about, that is an OG stuff. It is. The whole energy is about looking at, completing out these major cycles, right? So that you can have the new beginnings that you want. It's also a really powerful time at the moment. If you guys are completing out cycles, it is a powerful time for manifesting. Okay. So, be clear, be decisive, be, open as well to receiving. All right. So make sure that, again, you are asking clearly for what it is that you want. You don't want to be being vague or, again, be direct right now with spirit about what it is that you're wanting to manifest. Again, there is going to be cycles, though, that need to close out in order for new beginnings to actually take place. So if if you haven't begun closing those cycles out, I'm not going to say like, you need to do it during the 1010 portal, but you probably want to think about completing particular cycles that have been holding you back before the end of the year. All right. So this is about Spirit wanting you to, take the wisdom, the education, the lessons, right? All the things that you've learned, and 1, 2, 3, right? Take some sort of direct action and make progress towards your goals. All right. So that is what the message is going to be about today for, again, Divine Masculine, Divine Feminine, starting out with Divine Feminine first. I need to see if my cup of tea, right? My cup of tea, is my cup of fucking drinkable now? Because, my God, it was hot. Bang on. Bang on. Now, am I the only weirdo who drinks chamomile tea with milk in there? Or are there other weirdos out there that are like me? Because surely I can't be the only person that likes to drink chamomile with milk in there. Chamomile and vanilla. No, just me. As well, looking at my, come on, and look, I just can't picture of my grandma here. That's me, by the way, guys. That's me, by the way, at about 6 odd months, right? So that's my grandma. That's my Leo grandma, my dad's mum. So every time I drink chamomile, I think of her because she used to grow a fuck ton of chamomile in the very tiny little garden that my grandparents had in the city. So hot cocoa in yours. Look, I like a good hot chocolate. I love a good mocha, but I don't know. It's just something that I've done since I was a kid. I've always put, just a little bit of milk in my chamomile. I like my tea milky. What time is it here? It is currently 11:22 on the clock, and we are going to be starting Divine Feminine's reading bang on the 7-minute mark. So, Divine Feminine, let's have a look. We're going to be using the that new little 102 handmade deck that Spirit had me make the other week, right? I quite fucking love this thing, to be honest. I really love it. So, yeah, I like my tea milky, right? Don't judge me on Don't judge me on putting milk in my chamomile, all right? I've seen people drink worse shit, all right? At least it's not fucking vodka in there. It's just fucking tea. Right, Divine Feminine. Let's have a look here. All right, we've got the 4th house coming out. We've got Autumn Fall coming out. We've got Aries in the upright coming out, all right? So give me a few more, Spirit, before I put this message together for... we're not doing personals today. I did some personals this morning, so this is just a message that Spirit wanted me to come out. Well, I wanted to come back out here and do a message for you guys, and yeah, the idea just kind of dropped in that we we're going to do this, and then I just set it up, and here we are. So, but I'll be taking the weekend off, so probably sometime Monday, Tuesday, you guys will see me back. And yes, we will be doing more reads. I also do personal private reads. If anyone's interested, check out the details in the description box below. Pre-recorded reads on my Etsy at the moment are 25% off. You can also get copies of my Oracle deck on there, right? 10 in the chat. Very good. Thank God I can read everybody's typos out here. She got her glasses on. She can see. She can see. All right. So Divine Feminine, we are looking at things when it comes to the past, right? So I'm going to say this is about your foundations, and to do with your foundations here. So there could be, again, some sort of cycles here or things that you're needing to let go of in order to have this period of transition. All right. I do feel like Divine Feminine, there's I want to say within each Divine Feminine, it's like the masculine energy within you is beginning to mature, right? So there's this maturity of the masculine energy within Divine Feminines at the moment, where there's a lot of heavy focus for Divine Feminine on her foundation, her stability, her security as an individual. Okay, so again, there's a lot of you out there that I was going to say single, bilingual, maybe not ready to mingle, maybe not even thinking about mingling. I do feel Divine Feminine is getting herself into a position where, and now this isn't to, listen, Divine Masculine, we'll get to you, right? But this is between me and the girls right now, so don't be getting butthurt over the messages. But it seems to be a bit of a common theme here with Divine Feminine that you're getting yourself into a place where Because you've had to walk away from past connections and past things, you're being put in a position where you've needed to build your own stability. You've needed to build your own material world up to be able to support yourself so that, you're not some damsel in distress just being desperate and, hopelessly falling in love with any man that will pay your way through life, right? So I do feel like there is a very independent, strong energy that is coming from divine feminine, where that's again, that masculine energy within is starting to mature, and you're starting to really, really gain some sort of self-control here and taking lead of your life at the moment. All right. So there could be things though as well with this independence, right? That the independence is great, divine feminine, right? But there could also be some things here, some cycles or lessons that you haven't quite integrated yet from the past that could actually potentially block you moving forward with new love. All right. That's it. You shouldn't, right? If you're the kind of woman that needs to use a man, right? It's different to two people agreeing to be in a traditional connection, right? Where, traditional roles are played out. But let's face it, in 2025, how many households can live on one income these days anyway? Right? Unless you want to live like, below the poverty line here, we're living in a world where unfortunately divine feminine has to work. But I'm talking more so about, divine feminine being pushed into this area where, she's in a space of deep healing here, a deep again, we've got Aquarius coming out. So a very, very transformational time for divine feminine energy. And becoming very, like I said, independent, right? Very detached from other energies or other avenues of support, right? So I do get this very strong, again, that Aries energy, very, very strong, leading oneself, okay? Having courage, having bravery, right, to chase one's goals and dreams, okay? But there could be an issue if some of you guys are looking to step into new connections, right? You could find yourself potentially coming across a lot of divine masculines who have lost their confidence, right? And through them losing their self-confidence and their own ability to lead themselves, it could be that you're finding a lot of people just aren't in alignment with you where you're at with your stability. Okay, so this could actually be causing a little bit of a rift between divine masculine and divine feminine energies out here, where it appears to a degree that divine feminine doesn't. Now, again, don't get all trippy out on here. This ain't no feminist fucking message either, right? But it could appear or be coming off as though divine feminine has no real need right now for divine masculine, especially for those of you guys who have let go of past connections. You've been focusing on, leadership positions, businesses, building your finances, your stability, your careers, all that sort of stuff. So through that detachment and that independence, again, could actually create a bit of a block moving forward or in the long term. All right. So, not to say, again, that Spirit don't want you to again, have that independence, right? But just be mindful that if you are fiercely independent right now, if you are somebody who doesn't seek the external validation of others, right? Like you don't need somebody to pay you attention. You're feeling more than confident in your own skin, right? Your own body, the way you look, the way you show up, the way you present. And there's no need for any of that external stuff anymore. Again, you could be finding yourself having these issues, right? When it comes to people, right? Yeah. Independent by force, not by choice. And that's the problem, is that a lot of the stories that we see coming out here in tarot, like we've seen a lot of divine feminines having to, right? They're having to do this for themselves in order to be able to also heal, right? To also be able to heal their codependencies, their insecurities, okay, and all of that shit, right? But it is also creating, again, a little bit of a rift here. So if you are at the moment, again, really, really focused on what it is that you're building, your own finances, your own independence, it might be an idea just to put love on the back burner. Now, some of you guys could have seen this coming up with the the sun in Libra, right? So this could have been highlighted to you, or a lot could have been highlighted to you during this period when it comes to relationships in particular, right? So this could be, again, the reason why you are kind of holding back at the moment. And to be honest, I think that holding back at the moment, whilst, again, you know, both sides are trying to work out themselves, right? It's probably ideal, or more ideal, if you do kind of put love on the back burner right now, okay? So also with that sun opposing Neptune, right, with the sun in Libra opposing Neptune, it was a time for you guys to look at the patterns, right, of the past. You know, maybe where you guys have gone for potential over reality, where you've seen something that wasn't truly there. Maybe you've even told yourself that you can't do something alone, only to discover that the second that you start to get into something with somebody, right? Yeah, as soon as you start to have some sort of new beginning out here, that all of a sudden there's some sort of conflict that arises, right? And then there's some sort of change that takes place. So I think, you know, it's been very, very highlighted for a lot of you, that the best course of action right now, Divine Feminine and Spirit's like, yeah, it's true, is for you guys to 1, 2, 3, 4 continue to make progress towards the goals that you've set that don't include another person right now. Okay. There is when it comes to the divine masculine energy, and we will get into that, when it comes to the divine masculine energy, there is still a level of insecurities there, a level of unhappiness, dissatisfaction within where some of them are at, right? That is just going to cause disruptions, right? It's going to cause you disruptions. So some of you guys, again, could be ignoring, right, with Virgo in the reverse, not actually really looking at this, not taking a look at what this means, what this energy is at the moment. And I'm not going to say, like, again, you know, you do whatever the fuck you want, guys, right? You got free will out here. But if you really want to get to next year and it to feel different energetically, because again, you know, it's going to take another 9 years to get to another year one again, right? It's going to take another 9 years of a cycle. Some of you guys could end up putting yourselves on another 7-year cycle, another 10-year cycle, right? Whatever it is, if you don't start to really look at what are the choices that I have made in the past that I could potentially have been making in the recent past or the present that have been causing this conflict and these challenges for me, right? And what is it that I need to take a step back from? What is the cycle that I need to complete here? Okay. The cycle that a lot of you guys need to complete here is, again, the not seeing the truth about people, seeing what you're wanting to see, as opposed to what's actually in front of you, feeling like you can't do the journey alone, but you're already out here doing it, right? Because if you're not out here doing it, where are you? You're not watching me from, you know, I doubt there's, like, you know, homeless people that are out here, like, watching these channels, right? Just, you know, trying to work out all this shit, right? So you're obviously created some sort of stability for yourself out here, right? You're obviously standing on your own 2 feet, but again, that maybe that need, right, or that you thinking that you need to be partnered up could actually be part of what you need to let go of, right? Cycle that you need to complete here. So Aquarius is coming out again here, right, in the upright. So, you know, this is about being intelligent, right? Being wise with the moves that you make between now and the end of the year. Okay. Stay open-minded, right? Maintain that independence. Make sure, though, like I said, that you are clearly, quite clear and quite articulate with what it is that you're actually wanting to bring in for yourself over the next few months, what you're looking at when it comes to, and look, for a lot of you guys, it could just be about, you know, your physical health, what you do day to day, your routine, right? But I really do feel like at the minute that love needs to be put on the back burner until you guys have truly looked at, right? Truly taken a deep dive into and looked at, what are my patterns here? What do I keep doing here that I keep ending up with the same energies in different bodies, right? Because you don't want to keep going round and round and dating and fucking wasting your time. I mean, how many fucking dates does a person want to go on before they need to realize or recognize that there's something that you need to actually change in order to attract something different, right? You catch and release, right? We're all about fucking, rescuing animals, catch and release, right? Absolutely. See, everything does begin with choice. So, Pisces is out here. So again, these things that maybe you're not seeing that are sitting in the subconscious mind, or again, just sitting in the dark here, that have been highlighted to you, that again, a few people maybe don't really want to look at, or maybe you're not understanding it, right? Maybe you're not seeing it clearly. Maybe you need to find some sort of guidance here and uncover or try to discover what it is that for you that was hiding in the shadows here, right? What is going to help you, Divine Feminine, to have that growth and that expansion, right? It is about needing to have self-reflection here, right? To look back on the past choices that we've made, right? Look back at what situations have we put ourselves in with particular people where we get out of our element, where we start becoming the female that we don't want to be, right? The woman we don't want to be, okay? So this is about looking at what changes need to be made here. But again, Spirit want me to keep going back to this Virgo in reverse energy, right? So, investigating what's happening energetically for you, right? Asking the questions, not just to Spirit, to tarot, to whatever, but asking these questions to yourself, right? Sit down and have a really good conversation with yourself, because this is about reflecting, right? Trying to have that time of self-reflection so that you don't carry anything, right, with that number 4 energy, anything from that past through to a year number 1, right? A new beginning that you're wanting to have. So dig deep, Divine Feminine, right? It's time to really dig deep here. Again, this does have to do with, for Divine Feminine, your personal relationships, okay? Family, social. It could, again, also be in the sense of romantic relationships. So there is changes here that are needing to be made, right, in order for you to have that growth, right? So personal development in the reverse. So for some people, you haven't really been spending enough time looking at your own personal development so that you don't repeat the same cycles, okay? You've been, yes, you've been working on shit, you've been working on your self-worth, right? But there's a deeper level here which is trying to highlight itself to you at this time, right? Which is trying to, again, Spirit trying to get you to pay attention to certain things so you can have this completion of this cycle, so that you can manifest what it is that you need. But again, until you start letting go of particular ways of thinking, particular ways of going about certain situations when it comes to relationships, you're going to find yourself again seeing the same energies, right, just in different bodies until you learn the lesson. That's not something you want to carry with you into next year, right? It's really not something you want to carry with you beyond the energy of this 1010 portal, right? With a 1010 portal in a year number 9, right? It's like time to wrap this shit up, right? It's time to really wrap that shit up and get clear and focused on what it is that you're doing next year, okay? Put love on the back burner. It will come when it needs to, right? We can't force Divine Masculine to be at our level. You can't force anyone to be at your level. You can't force them to be stable, to feel secure about themselves, to want to show up the way that you need them to, right? You can't. The only thing that you can do is try to recognize why certain situations keep playing out over and over and over, right? You do have to make yourself unstoppable, right? That's the thing, man. No one out here can break you because they didn't fucking make you, right? Just remember that. If they didn't fucking make you, baby, they can't fucking break you, right? It's up to you whether you want to be broken or, what you want to be. But Divine Feminine, don't be afraid of leveling up further and further. Again, it's not your job to minimize yourself or dim your light or be less than, right? To be more appealing to Divine Masculine right now. That is also part of the lesson that some of you guys need to learn, is not lowering your standards here and then wondering why you're unhappy, why shit doesn't work out, why you start getting bitchy, catty, angry, and all the rest of that shit with people, right? It's because you're trying to get something that just isn't at your level, right? And you can't force it, you can't push it, right? But what you can do is look at why these things keep happening, right? And be real about why this is happening, okay? This isn't a time for passion and spark and all of that shit, right? It's a time for a death and rebirth, baby, right? Scorpio energy. This is a time for Divine Feminine to truly truly claim back her personal power, right? And it's only attained through confronting your shadow, right? That's the only way you can do it, is through confronting those shadow aspects, right? The things that have been lurking in the shadow, the things that you haven't wanted to look at. All right, it's time to, again, just accept that you're on a journey right now, and that journey isn't supposed to be focused on getting yourself prepped and primed for a relationship, because we are one side of the equation, Divine Feminine. Divine Masculine's got to do their own work to get themselves at a point where they're able to show up the way that they need to, right? I also feel Divine Feminine, Divine Masculine, just in general, right? There is, things are shifting. The dynamics of relationships and things are shifting. Now, I don't necessarily know that this is a bad thing, right? If you look back for fucking how many hundreds and thousands of years, right? Roles have been the same. Relationships, the narrative of relationships, the way that things operate have been the same. Things are changing now, right? Things are changing. Again, with women becoming more independent because they've been forced to, you're going to find, Divine Masculine, that there's probably less and less insecure and needy women out there as time goes on, right? But don't also, on the flip side, Divine Masculine, then take that as some sort of, like it's a you problem, right? This is just the dynamics of what's happening in the energy, and where a lot of these Divine Feminines have had to put themselves in, right? They've had to put themselves in this position to gain this stability, gain this wisdom, gain this knowledge in order to hold themselves up, right? Because Divine Feminine couldn't allow themselves to continue to be codependent, right? And to continue to feed into their abandonment wounds and their insecurities anymore, right? This is where the Divine Feminine have had to do this in order to not show up the way that they were in the past that you guys were experiencing, right? So, everyone's got to kind of give each other a little bit of time and space right now, especially those of you that are truly dedicated to your spiritual path, that are really, really focused on your development, right? Give it some time, babies, right? Give both sides a little time. Divine Masculine, give Divine Feminine a little bit of time here. Divine Feminine, give Divine Masculine a little bit of time here, right? Because there are so many big shifts happening right now, especially over the next 3 months, right? There is going to be some huge, significant shifts here in the energy that a lot of people don't see coming, right? So just give it some time here, right? Focus on the current challenges, right? These challenges that are being presented to you at this moment, right? The real challenges that are being presented to you. Coach of mine once said, really ask yourself, did you give your absolute heart? Yeah, well, that's it. Did you try like your life depends on it? Well, some things aren't worth that effort though either, see? Some things aren't actually worth that effort. Sometimes people give too much effort to situations where they shouldn't. And instead of actually focusing on themselves, right, and building themselves up, they pour that energy into another person and then wonder why they feel so empty, right? Wonder why they're forever trying to seek that validation. 11:44 is on my clock. So yeah, it's all about, mastering your personal power out here, Divine Feminine, okay? Right, some of you guys still aren't feeling quite comfortable just living your authentic truth, and it's time you did. I mean, I know the age group of the majority of those of you on my channel, right, are, again, between the ages of 30 and, well, I'll say probably about 25 and 55, right? But the majority of us are around that 35 to 50 age bracket, right? Man, if we can't be fucking living authentically after we've been, wives, mothers, had fucking businesses, right? Like, been to fucking hell and back, when are we going to feel comfortable just being ourselves? When? I mean, at least there's one good fucking thing that tends to die off, right, as you get into your 40s, right? You're no longer in competition with other women like that, right? It's no longer a dick measuring competition on who's the fucking prettiest, right? Like, because at the end of the day, we're all getting fucking wrinkles. Our boobs are all fucking sagging, right? Like, it is what it fucking is, right? That's one good thing that you're kind of able to let go of when you get older, is that being competitive with other women, right? But why are we still struggling to live authentically? What are we giving a fuck about? Do people's opinions pay our bills? I've said this all the time. How many times has anyone's opinion fucking paid your bills out here, Divine Feminine, right? So some of you guys could have gone through a recent completion of a cycle, right? Getting ready to have a new opportunity, right? But I'm going to say for some of you guys, if you've completed a cycle with a particular person, place, or thing, before you go thinking, right, that you're ready for something new, I've got to stop you and say, I'm sorry, but 222 in the reverse, right? No, there's still a 10 level completion that needs to happen here. The 9 was only part of the lesson, right? You're going to have to reach the 10 out here too. Okay, so there is something that you're going to have to weather beaten up here. Look, that's what I mean. It is what it is, right? But at what point are we going to just be okay with who the fuck we are, right? This 9 energy, man, don't get overly excited with the 9 energy, right? The 9 energy is fucking great, divine feminine, but it's the 10 energy, right? It's the major completion. It's now time, though, with that 9 energy to reflect back on whatever just recently has ended for you, whatever in the recent past has ended for you, and then go back even further, right? And then find the pattern, find the common thing, right? Find what it is that is actually holding you back from having that connection that you actually want, right? But I'm telling you, man, there's a lot of people that aren't out here that aren't ready for anything, right? Shouldn't be in relationships. It's a time for focusing on your finances at the moment, divine feminine, as well, right? Maintain that stability in your own world right now, so you don't have to be dependent on anyone. Okay, South Node's coming up in the reverse. So I do feel like in general, divine feminine, those of you that are on the spiritual path, those of you that guys that are, really actually putting in the work, right? You're no longer coming from that place of your comfort zone anymore, right? So South Node isn't just about, being on the wrong path and in your most toxic energy. It's also when you operate from your comfort zone. Okay, so a lot of you guys are starting to push yourself out of your comfort zone, which is absolutely fucking great. But it's like we've got this idea that, we've gotten to the 9, that's it. We're ready for, 11 11s and fucking 12 12s and all the rest of that shit. And the truth is that we still need to go through 10, right? We still need to get through the 10 energy, okay? 11 11s in the reverse, right? What did I just finish saying? All right, so not quite in alignment here when it comes to love, right? 11-11 in the reverse with Libra energy. Not quite ready. Not quite ready. Those of you guys that, again, are on a spiritual path, right? True divine masculine, true divine feminine who are on their spiritual path, right? Give it some fucking time, guys. Give it some time before more chaos, more conflict, more destruction comes out of these connections, because everybody's gotten to the fucking 9, right? But no one's made it to the 10 yet. No one's made it to the 10 yet to be able to have the 1. So just have a think about that, right? It's time to, again, be confident with your independence here. You're a vegan from Brisbane. Not sure what the vegan part has any relevance, but hello, Brisbane. Hi, Brisbane. Just never understand. That's wonderful, I guess. Each to their own. Each to their own, right? Each to their own. But it's about, again, making sure that you are in complete balance. And we have to tell you it's our thing. You know what? That is so funny, right? Because that is a fucking vegan thing, isn't it? We just have to tell people, right? Well, good, right? We're happy. We're happy for you. In order to really attract long-lasting relationships here, right? Again, yep, the 9 was fucking great, divine feminine, but can we get it to the fucking 10? Can we get it to the 10 so we can have the true 1? Right? That's where Spirit needs you to look at right now. That's what they need you to look at right now. All right? Confirmation. Spirit, yes, that's what we need you to look at. That's what we need you to focus on. Okay? If you're sitting in any negative emotions right now, okay? Water in the reverse, right? Again, purge those emotions. Purge that moodiness, that neediness, that codependency, whatever the fuck it is that's been keeping you only at 9s, right? Time to let that go, okay? So some of you guys as well, it's heart chakra activation could be happening throughout. Again, if you guys decide to put in the work here and well, I don't know, I'm a Leo, so look, I'm all about, you want to come into the lion's den and I'll probably eat you for breakfast, lunch, dinner and feed you to my cubs. So I'll pass on that, but thanks for the offer. Thank you so much for the offer. you know, this is about, again, being really clear in your heart here, making sure you've purged any negative emotions, right? Any codependencies, things like that, right? Make sure you've got a clear heart before you open it back up to somebody else, right? Let's get you a couple of oracle cards from my oracle deck, Divine Feminine, and then we're going to do Divine Masculine. I mean, I don't know who you're protesting to, the lions? I don't think the lions are going to be out there listening to you. I really don't. And can I ask, you're from Brisbane, but are you originally from New Zealand? Are you originally from New Zealand? Just out of curiosity. All right, it's fine for now. Let's have a little look, see what's coming out of my Oracle deck. Remember, guys, as well, if you guys are looking to get a copy of my Oracle deck, it's available on my Etsy store, which is, the link for that is in the description box. Yes, see, genetics do absolutely play a fucking big part, a absolute big fucking part in the way somebody ages. Also, you know, if you've been a drinker, if you've taken drugs for a long time, if you don't drink water, if you don't look after your skin, if you don't, you know, if you don't feed yourself well, a lot of things will impact your aging process, right? All right, let's have a little look, see what's coming out here, Divine Feminine, and then we'll move on to Divine Masculine, have a look what's coming out for the Divine Masculine. All right, Divine Feminine. What we got here? Pay attention, all right? So Spirit have been trying to show you some signs, some sort of synchronicities here, okay? Again, there's a lot that's been illuminated here in the past, I'm going to say the past couple of months, all right? Spirit are wanting you to maintain your balance. Also, make sure, Divine Feminine, that you are distributing your energy correctly between your responsibilities and leisure, right? Making sure that there's good balance between everything so that you can have the ultimate fulfillment here, right? So there are changes, again, like I said, changes that Spirit are wanting you to make, right? Things that you need to look at that need changing, right? And this is about, again, you know, standing up for what's right for you. Also leading, what's under that? Yeah, look at that. Pull back wants to be there as well. So pull back, but the pull back card came straight with it. Didn't want to detach from it. So, you know, this is about pulling yourself back or pulling your energy back here and leading by example, right? Leading yourself by good example here, right? Have the courage and the strength here to look at whatever this is, right? This is meant to empower you. This is a time of empowerment for both Divine Masculine and Divine Feminine. Again, it depends on if you want to actually choose to work on shit or whether you don't, right? So practical wisdom. There's a lot of knowledge. There's a lot of wisdom here that's being gained, right? Even in these 9 situations, even when you've done these 9 endings, right? There's a lot that you've learned, right? But again, look that little bit deeper here. Right? Where are you being impractical that, again, you're having these repeat little cycles play out again, right? Be mindful as well, Divine Feminine, right? You know, it's, again, when you get into our fucking age, right? We don't have time for the petty competitive bullshit. There could be friendships around you, right, that you're needing to let go of still as well, right? Not all girls are for girls, right? Not all women are on each other's teams either, right? There are people that still feel insecure about themselves, that haven't put in the work, that are with men that they're codependent on, right? That make them feel less than, right? That they're in competition of your independence, right? So again, pay attention to the people around you. It's not just relationships when it comes to romance. It's also friendships. It's also family. It's anything that has been stripping your power and keeping you stuck in repetitive cycles over and over and over, right? A lot of these problems actually came from most people's childhood, right? The experiences that you had in childhood and the way that they've shaped you have impacted the way that you relate to people, the way that you connect to people, okay? So yeah, there's some loose ends here that need to be tied up, right? And it's about you rewriting the narrative here on happiness, right? Changing the status quo. Happiness isn't what we've been taught it is, right? Look at where you've been holding on to false hope here. But also, Divine Feminine, have hope that there's light at the end of the tunnel, right? Just as much as you guys are working on shit, right? Divine Masculine is too. Okay, not all of them, right? But same with divine, with feminines. Not all feminines work, but you get what I'm saying? Be patient, man. Be patient with this shit. Nurture the things that you want to grow out here and focus on your happiness at the moment, right? We've got 11:55 on my clock, could be significant here as well. 11, the number 2, right? So again, number 2 being second house. Focus on your second house, right? First house with the number 10, number 1, right? Focus on yourself right now. Focus on your personal world right now, Divine Feminine, okay? Start making better moves here to get the best out of your situation for the long term, not just in the right here, right now, right? But for the next 9 years, for the next 9 to come, right? It is about releasing yourself from any toxic bonds, whether they were created in childhood, in early adolescence, right? Or through traumatic relationships that you've been through. You need to release those patterns, right? Those patterns that keep playing out, right? Apollo's here, right? Truth. Okay, things are, again, like I said, being illuminated right now, okay? Some of you guys as well need to pay better attention to your dreams right now. There could be cycles of things that are playing out right now that are being highlighted so that you can look at and go, okay, there's a pattern there. So if you're not seeing in your physical world and you are somebody that has a lot of dream downloads, really pay attention to what's happening, right? Don't pay attention to, when there's the betrayals of people in there, or just look at the cycles of what's happening even in your dreams, right? And you'll be able to see a pattern that's forming there. So pay attention right now is what Spirit's saying, okay? See clearly about where there's still limitations here that you could potentially be creating for yourself or carrying through to next year, right? That you really, really want to leave behind. All right, Divine Feminine, fucking love you. And you know what, Divine Feminine, also don't forget to have fun out there as well, right? Don't forget to laugh. I know it's really, really hard when, you need to nurture your feminine energy. You're trying to step into your masculine energy too and balance all that shit out, right? Don't forget to actually have fun and to enjoy the journey, right? Don't forget to laugh. Don't forget to smile, We're not supposed to feel, it's not supposed to feel like a burden, right? And I know a lot of you guys have a lot of fucking responsibility on your plate because you're single, independent, right? A lot of you guys are mums carrying a lot on your plates, right? But don't forget to take a break from time to time and just have some fucking fun, right? It's not meant to be all doom and gloom and fucking serious, right? This isn't, you're not in fucking military boot camp out here, right? But it's take shit seriously enough so that shit doesn't play out again for you next year. But don't forget that you're also here to enjoy life, right? So remember to, again, balance out, again, that distribution between of your energy between responsibilities and leisure. All right, love you, Divine Feminine. I hope that helps you guys a little bit. Again, it wasn't meant to be like, it's not meant to be a stab at anyone. This is just trying to, again, illuminate what it is that you guys need to be looking at here and what's actually going to help you to manifest the life of your dreams, right? Or what it is that you've been dreaming of. All right, let's have a look. We're going to take it divine. We're going to look at the divine masculine energy at the moment. I'm going to go 44. All right, probably going to keep this a little bit shorter, divine masculine, right? Because I feel like the feminine more so needed to hear more than maybe what the masculine's even willing to hear at the moment as well, right? So there could be a bit of resistance here when it comes to divine masculine energy actually looking at, what's actually impacting them, because they all want to think that they're confident. They want to think that they are showing up, charismatic, confidently, like they know where they're going, know what they're doing, man. But I'm telling you right now, that's not the energy of divine masculine right now. It's not. All right, it's not. At the moment, divine feminine is showing up more so in masculine energy than what the divine masculine is, and that's all good, babies, right? But we need to look at this, right? So for some of you guys here, that's interesting. That's a new one. I've never been referred to as or compared to Lady Gaga, but thank you. I'll take that. I don't know. All right, divine masculine. So this is again, you guys could be struggling here with your public image, your reputation, social status, right? Your ambitions, right? Particularly around career, finances, okay? So let's have a look. What else have we got going on out here for divine masculine? So it's like, you want you want people to see you in a certain way, or you want divine feminine maybe to see you in a certain way here as, being intelligent, articulate, right? Very observant, very, very focused, very, very, all over your shit at the moment, right? But again, it's not the energy that divine feminine is experiencing right now. Okay, we've got the 5th house in reverse. I think one thing missing from a lot of men. Exactly, right. But the problem is, Shafiq, is that these masculines aren't. It's like they've been in shitty relationships, right? Where it's torn them down a little bit. They're probably a little bit disappointed that they gave certain energies that they shouldn't have. That created a lot of loss, right? That creates instability. And then when a man doesn't have, right, the two things that he's meant to provide divine feminine, right, to protect her and to provide for her. Right? If he can't protect her from his own outbursts, from his own insecurities, from his own bullshit, well, that's where he's going to start feeling insecure as a man, right? Divine feminine can't fix that though, right? We've talked about this on this channel. Divine masculine, you need to learn to take your fucking power back, right? Not in a toxic masculinity kind of way, right? But again, it's with the choices that you make here. So, there is, again, this lack of creativity here, an inability to truly express how you're feeling right now. I was disappointed by the first woman of my life, my mother. Oh, you know what? I think all divine feminines that are sitting here that are reading that comment can actually really respect that. I mean, look at that. That is somebody here who is actually sitting in quite good energy. You do have quite good energy, because to be able to actually say that out aloud is a lot more than what we're seeing from, divine masculines as feminine energies. It's a lot more than we're seeing. So don't apologize. We love the interactions here, especially when we get to these deeper levels, right? But it's the self-expression, or the way that divine masculine is expressing themselves right now, right, isn't necessarily the most healthy here, okay? So 10-10 energy showing up, right? Divine masculine, right, with spring in the reverse. So something's not blossoming here, okay? This is a time for significant personal growth and new beginnings, right? But the problem is with spring in the reverse, right, there's no growth that's happening here. There hasn't been the renewal energy, the hope, right? It's like you're still feeling hopeless, right? You're still not seeing. Third eye is in the reverse, right? So intuitively blocked here. Again, maybe focusing too heavily on, again, toxic masculinity, dick measuring, right? Wanting to fucking size each other up, all sorts of shit. I don't know. What is it that you guys are doing out here, right? Whatever's happening though, right? We've got movement and mastery and power in the reverse, right? There's something here that you're not mastering. This is why there's no movement taking place. We've also got autumn fall in the reverse here. And the thing is, divine feminine, right, loves nothing more than a man who will truly express his fears, right? How he feels about himself, how he sees himself, right? Again, divine feminine can't fucking nurture like toxic ego, right? What do you want? You want us to fucking stroke your fucking ego and be like, oh, you're a good fucking boy, but internally, like, you don't even feel. And notice I said that, good boy, right? And that's right. You're feeling like a fucking boy, man, because you know you're not out here being a fucking man, right? Being a man doesn't mean not fucking having emotions, right? It means finding healthy ways to express those emotions so those emotions don't impact the choices that you fucking make. I mean, I said it in the Leo read. How the fuck does divine feminine, right, with a 2 of wands in reverse, a masculine and 2 of wands in reverse, how the fuck is a divine feminine meant to trust a man, right, or a male, right, I can't even say it, a male who has no fucking idea where he's going? Where the fuck's he leading her? He don't even know where he's going, and she's supposed to trust him to lead? No. We can't do that. And again, we've talked about this energy where divine feminine can't just fucking not do what she's doing out here. She can't not provide and protect for herself right now. She has to. She's got no other choice, dude. None, right? But the change, the transformation, the maturity, right? The maturity isn't there. And look, maybe it is, right? Maybe a lot of it has to do with the way that our generation, right, has been raised. right? Let's hope some of us are out here raising our kids to be a little bit more balanced, right, than what we experience. But, you know, again, it's not that like men aren't supposed to fucking cry, have emotions, this, that, and that. No, you are. What you're not supposed to do is suppress those shit until they literally like fucking explode out of you in unhealthy, toxic ways, in egotistical ways, in forms of insecurity, right? Control, manipulation, narcissism, right? You want to feel like a true divine masculine, well, you're going to have to put yourself in that energy, baby, right? It's up to you to put yourself in that energy here, right? So again, you know, there's this spirit wanting you to have this expansion and growth, right? With, through creative ideas, right? Through collaborations, you know, maybe there's not enough of you men out there also supporting each other, right? Women are a little bit different. We talk a lot, right? Women like to talk a lot. We like to gather around in fucking knitting circles and all sorts of shit, right? But there could be a lot more collaboration when it comes to masculine energy with, you know, learning how to guide each other and lead each other correctly, right? Teaching each other some valuable skills out here. If you've learnt them, you know, if you're a masculine who's learnt that shit, man, help the people around you, right? Help them to get to a space where they feel secure in themselves, right? Again, it just takes me back to spirits like, yeah, doesn't it make you laugh when an insecure man tries to put a woman in competition with somebody else, man? Like, the reason why a man would ever do that is because he's insecure. He needs to find a reason, or he needs you to find a reason, right? A man needs a woman to find a reason then to want to be with him. Why do I sound like a Kiwi? I don't know. My mum sounded like a Kiwi too. Could just be, no, some weird twang in my accent, but no, I'm not a Kiwi. I'm not a Kiwi. You know, the only reason why a man would ever do that to a woman is because he needs that woman to feel threatened, right? That someone's going to fucking take him. But I'm telling you right now, if you've got a divine feminine who's confident, she don't give a fuck, man. She'll be like, sweet, go fucking have whatever, man. I'm not in a fucking competition, right? I'm not here to be put in competition. So if you are feeling insecure as with yourself as a man, right, you are going to be susceptible to doing some fucked up shit out here, that if you are crossing paths with divine feminines who have cut off these kinds of energies, right? Because look, we've got water in the reverse, man. Emotions, right, aren't balanced at the moment, right? Those emotions aren't balanced. But again, divine feminine can't give you divine masculine what you need. You got to just take that back for yourself.